Hello, this is Brian Resney, President of Resney Wealth Management, bringing you an important update about the economy and the investment markets. Well, we're firmly into the fourth quarter of 2023. I know our clients have, I think generally speaking, been very happy with the progress of their portfolio so far this year. As I've discussed numerous times, expect volatility. In fact, about a month ago, I completely and really hardcore explained that expect a 5 to 10% pullback, which we basically saw then immediately after. Did I know that was coming? No. But again, one of the things I want to stress to every client, and I think, again, this is why 99% of our clients really handle volatility well, is because we explain that volatility is normal. We do have the occasional client that gets a little more emotional and gets a little nervous, and hey, and I understand that. Everybody's wired a little bit different. But 99% of our clients allow us to do our job, and they appreciate it. And again, we appreciate you as a client. So again, volatility is normal. We see opportunity as we go into the last part of this year. We've made some portfolio adjustments. We did a little tax loss selling. We did a little selling to reposition for relative strength, and a few sectors that we feel we have an opportunity maybe to get a little boost into year-end on return. One of the things that is vitally important that every investor, again, needs to understand. Volatility is normal, and one of the things I talked about a lot the last 2 years is about no recession. You know, Wall Street was preaching for the last 2 years, recession, recession, recession. Folks, this is almost the second year that they preached recession, and we still don't have a recession. We do a lot of research. We have to make tough decisions, hard decisions, non-emotional decisions, how we're going to invest our clients' money. We're not going to get emotional. We're not going to get all crazy. We're going to do what we feel is best for our clients all the time. And sometimes that may mean that we have a little volatility in that portfolio. It's the natural part of the game. But take a look what's going on. You've got the powers that be in our U.S. government and now around the world that are starting to raise the GDP growth for not only the third quarter, but the fourth quarter of this year. When GDP goes up, that's not a recession. A recession is you're actually going down in GDP, negative. So any recession this year? No. Did we have little pieces of the U.S. economy that had some little rolling recessions I talked about, pockets? Tech had it kind of beginning of the year, a little bit of slowdown, but now revamping. Housing's a great example, a little slowdown, a little recessionary, but again, we'll revamp. I think ultimately we look at where the employment numbers came out a little over a week ago. The employment numbers were good. People are working. We're not seeing mass layoffs. In order for the economy to really slow down, you have to see mass layoffs, and we're simply not seeing that. So again, not to pat ourselves on the back, but again, we were on the right side of the fence this whole year, and I'm glad we were. So again, not that we're not going to see volatility the rest of this year or next year or the year after, but again, we're not concerned about the next 3 months. You should not be either. We're looking at the next 3 to 5 years. Every one of our clients is a long-term investor, whether you're 95 or you're 5. Let me explain. You have $1 million portfolio. If you're 90 years old, you're a long-term investor. What does that mean? It means your $1 million portfolio is going to be almost intact in 3 years from now. You're going to take some money out of there to live on. So 90% of your portfolio, your $1 million, will be there in 3 years from now to hopefully grow a little bit bigger. So as long as you're not going to spend all of your $1 million in the next 3 years, you're a long-term investor. Our clients, whether they're 95 or they're 5, if you look at the next 3 to 5 years, I feel things are going to be pretty good. We'll have bouts of volatility in the middle. The last 5 years have been very good overall in the U.S. economy and the markets. And I think our clients, again, who allow us to do our job, and this is 99% of you, and again, I applaud you for that. You allow us to do our job. You don't like the volatility, but you accept it. That's what makes a successful investor. We're going to make those adjustments as necessary in the portfolio, and we're going to do the things that we feel ultimately are going to benefit you, the client. But we're looking at an economy that's strong. We're looking at a labor market that's strong. So we're seeing slowdown to some extent because of the stimulus money that has run out. which is good. So we're seeing inflation greatly abate. If we look at a run rate on general kind of CPI and PMI inflation the last, let's say, 3 months, it's kind of running in that 2 to 3% range, which is really getting in that Fed target. So that's a positive. We don't see any more Fed increases of interest rates. If anything, I've talked about this repeatedly. I see, if anything, as we get into the latter part of this quarter, potential for the Fed to reduce rates, and certainly next year is hopefully the game plan. But rates at their current level are not very high at all if you look at statistical numbers from the last 10, 15, 20 years. The biggest problem we're going to have is obviously our national debt, and at higher rates it becomes costly, and it does impede on the overall growth of the U.S. economy. Let's see if both sides of the aisle can get together and actually be adults at some point in our future, so we can get some of the things that need to be done in the U.S. corrected, and that will only give us more prosperity in the future. As always, if you're a client of the firm and you have any questions, give us a call. If we need to schedule a phone or office review, give us a call. Let's schedule. We always like doing the right thing for our clients. We want to make sure that you're happy and that your questions are answered. Make sure you have yourself a safe and profitable day.